Yo, we're back in here. I expect this to probably be true. Um, Usually people you gotta watch out for when it comes to fake news got about between 2,000 to 10,000 followers. But outside of that, the other ones they seem significant. Anyways, let's get right into it.
WWE superstar isn't returning to the company, which makes this a very interesting video because it seemed like for a minute that person would actually be returning to the company. We're going to have to talk about that. Plus, WWE just did WrestleMania in Las Vegas, and apparently they're trying to do it again. And I think that's a little problematic, but we're going to talk about the details there. And of course, it's Friday, which means we are ready for SmackDown after WrestleMania. And the question is, what does WWE have planned up their sleeves? Well, there's a couple things we know, a couple things we don't know, and for the sake of a fun conversation, we're going to talk about it in today's video. All right, guys, first things first, I think we should actually start off with WrestleMania Las Vegas. This is something to me, personally speaking, I'm not a big fan of. And apparently, WWE is planning a return to do WrestleMania in Las Vegas, according to Andrew Baidala, who I think has been awesome when it comes to stuff like this. His work has appeared in many places. I follow him on social media. He's a great dude. He's come out and said that WWE is actively exploring a return to Las Vegas for a future WrestleMania, possibly within the next 3 to 5 years. Now,
Oh,
sources from WWE did say that they were
I
actually
thought
very
they was
satisfied
having
with
like a
WWE's
redo of
WrestleMania
WrestleMania like
41
next week or
at
something like
Allegiant
that.
Stadium. Basically, WWE killed it, right? We're not dumb. We know how WWE operates. We saw them with all of this fancy schmancy talk about record gates and money and sponsorships and this and that. Listen, I'll say this: Allegiant Stadium is a beautiful stadium. I'll give them props. I think Allegiant Stadium was beautiful. Las Vegas is the world's tourism spot, at least for the United States. It's filled with tourism. WWE obviously found a lot of success there, and I get it. However, in the next 3 to 5 years, I don't want to see WWE return to Las Vegas after just doing it. And I know Nick Khan previously had talked about even returning to Philly. I understand that WWE is thinking of, okay, this place was very successful. It was a great venue. There was a lot of great momentum that we captured from the event there, and it's easy to go back. I argue, though, that WWE should not do that. I think WWE needs to go to different markets for WrestleMania. And the reason why I think WWE needs to go to different markets for WrestleMania is because repetitiveness sometimes could be an issue. Obviously, Las Vegas is a huge tourism spot, so I understand why that's like in the conversation, but I don't think it's a logical spot for them to keep doing a WrestleMania every few years. Same thing with New Orleans. Like I know they're going back next year for New Orleans, and I love New Orleans, and I was there for WrestleMania 34. But just 4 years prior to that, they did WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. At some point, it's going to get repetitive, especially because a lot of people who do go to WrestleMania tend to use it as their excuse to go on vacation. So you got to go to different places, give people a different experience every single time, and that
True,
continues to make
true.
it an even bigger deal.
Whenever
All right,
WrestleMania
ladies and
comes
gentlemen,
around,
pictured here is
I
Aleister
look.
Black, but that's not all that is planned for WWE's SmackDown after WrestleMania.
I call
You
off
guys
work.
saw WWE
That's what
Raw.
I meant to
You
say.
are very aware of what WWE Raw looked like. You guys know that WWE Raw was an incredible spectacle for a
Almost
lot of
ended.
fans
You said that.
because, yes, it only had
Almost ended
three
up.
matches, but there was a lot of storytelling, a lot of surprises, and a lot of big moments on the show. And that brings us to WrestleMania SmackDown. And this is really huge because WWE has already kind of emptied the mag. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we just saw Ray Phoenix join SmackDown. They've been airing the vignettes of Aleister Black.
Yeah, they said
What
he was coming
other
this week.
surprises
They
could they
put it that.
have? Now, obviously, Aleister Black is confirmed for tonight's SmackDown. Makes a lot of sense. I'm with it. I like it. I support it. I think he's going to do far greater under Triple H than he ever did under Tony Khan. So I support this 1,000,000%. However, what I will say is there are some rumors that tonight is the night that Jeff Cobb debuts on SmackDown. Not only Jeff Cobb debuting on SmackDown, but
Who is
there's
Jeff
also
Cobb?
word going around that multiple NXT call-ups will be featured on the show. Now, in the previous week, we have covered Trick Williams and Lola Vice being two of the names that have been rumored to get called up. Ethan Page is rumored to be called up. There are a lot of names in NXT appear to have called up. Basically, it sounds like WWE is ready to make a big splash tonight. Now, I'm going to say this. In my most
Oh, Jeff
humble and
Cobb is that
honest opinion, I don't
Um,
know if
it doesn't.
WWE is going to load SmackDown up as well as they did with Raw. I just don't know if I see that happening. And that is
Yeah, he
somewhat of
might
a
be switching
problem
up. Hold
because
on,
you
hold on.
already sparked a
I don't
ton
know
of
why.
interest immediately after the whole John Cena, The Rock, Cody Rhodes thing happened, right? Like now there's drummed up interest because of the fact that WWE really made a big splash for Raw. So I would go as far as saying that they should make a big splash today. I don't know if I have a lot of confidence in WWE for tonight's episode. And I'm not trying to be like negative about it. It's just SmackDown kind of takes a little bit less. I think SmackDown gets a little bit less love than Raw does. And that's because Raw is on Netflix, SmackDown is on the USA Network. You know, SmackDown is a guaranteed 3 hour show. I do want them to go back to 2 hours. I don't think that's going to happen, but
I feel like we
you
got better
guys never
shows
really
now,
know in this situation. That's where
but
things kind of
we're
become
not in the show
interesting,
business.
and that's where I'm really excited to see what happens. But for sure, Aleister Black is there, which is exciting. We'll see what other surprises they have. Do you guys have confidence in WWE? Let me
If I
know.
can
Do
hear
you guys
what's
want more
happening
videos
on
like this?
SmackDown,
Click
then
subscribe. We're trying
I'm
to get to
good.
100,000
That's all I
subscribers, and we're
want.
making waves. I appreciate the
Once he
support,
don't even
guys.
got to be out of
All
there.
right.
The whole crowd gonna
It
chant
appears that
Brie.
Brie Bella
It's gonna
apparently
be.
isn't coming back to WWE. I was actually really
I hope
fascinated
not.
by this news because we saw Nikki Bella return. There's talks of Evolution 2. Nia Jax was just talking to Brie and Nikki on their show. Basically, Brie Bella has revealed that WWE hasn't called her. This is really strange. WWE hasn't called her. Obviously, we know that Nikki
I
Bella
mean, you
has been
got
in
one of
communications with
Fox now
WWE.
too.
Brie Bella, on the other hand, has not
I
been in
mean,
communications with the
why
WWE,
would we
and it
want
sounds
to
like it could be a major reason
hold
as to
them
why.
without
Now,
getting
obviously,
rid of
I'm
them? I would
purely
take Brie Bella
speculating,
over Nikki
but
any day.
Brie Bella is married to Bryan Danielson, who is actively working for AEW. There was rumors at one point that Brie Bella would actually go to AEW. Um, that never happened. And there was talks and rumors that Nikki and Brie were both going to show up in AEW, and that never happened. Now, Nikki Bella is in a little bit of a different situation than Brie. Because of the fact that they're twins, obviously that makes a lot of sense, and there's a lot of talk about that. But with Nikki Bella not having any ties to AEW whatsoever, it seems like WWE would be more willing to bring her back than to bring back Brie Bella. Now, what I want to say is this, and I think this is probably the most interesting aspect of it. I think they should bring back Brie Bella. Nikki and Brie should be on Raw or SmackDown, and I don't want to see them like part time or whatever. I want to see them like actually on the show doing their
They're
thing.
mothers, aren't they?
Um, there's a women's tag team division that needs more tag teams. I think that's exactly where they should be.
Why
They
not
were
the
part of the era
Divas?
that didn't have that opportunity to go after women's tag team titles, so obviously
Exactly,
there's a reason for that. You have Evolution 2 happening in the summer.
Right.
It just makes sense to have
That's
them.
okay.
They've been very successful even without professional wrestling. So why would you not take advantage of that? But who knows? WWE hasn't called her. She revealed this on their podcast, on their talk show with Nia Jax, and nobody really knows what's going to happen here. I do think Nikki will return. I don't think Brie will. Who knows? I would like to see both of them together, though. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Angle Show. I appreciate you guys all for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Maybe my stuff just didn't show up. I had all three devices on, but only showed one follower. Anyways, I mean one viewer is what I meant. Oh yeah, we got three. It just didn't show up. It show up now. Okay, that's great. Anyways, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate y'all for watching. I'm gonna see y'all on the next.